sort out so I know who's on Thank you, everyone, for joining our community update with our elected officials associated with COVID-19. This is Jonathan Evans, City Manager for the City of Riviera Beach. And this is the opportunity that we have with the elected officials to brief them on all things related to COVID-19. Before we start our meeting and brief the elected officials and the community, Madam Clerk, if you can proceed forward with the role and the procedural things that we need to do to start this meeting.
Madam Chair, can I get you to call the meeting to order, please?
Yes, this is Councilwoman Shirley Lanier, and I'm calling this meeting to order.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will now proceed with the roll call. Chairperson Shirley Lanier.
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Kashamba Miller Anderson. Councilperson Trodrick McCoy. Councilperson Julia Botel. Councilperson Douglas Lawson. City Manager Jonathan Evans.
Present.
City Clerk Claudine Anthony is present. City Attorney Don Nguyen.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Related to COVID-19. So as it relates,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was looking at maybe you guys should update this agenda because I was looking at they had a moderator on here and they had some other things. I just wanted to make sure that next time we have an updated agenda for these meetings.
No problem, Madam Chair. The intent behind this meeting is, again, to update our elected officials with regards to what we're doing concerning COVID-19. As a result of us looking to move our operations more on the vaccine side and focusing towards that, our reports to the community will be in written format concluding this particular meeting. This gives us an opportunity to be able to provide information a lot quicker and easier for folks to digest and to be able to read at their leisure as opposed to sometimes trying to catch the calls or listening on social media. So we are going to discontinue our community updates in a virtual or phone setting and do our reports in a written format that will hit the same topics and address certain issues. And in the event that we have to continue to provide community updates in this format, certainly we will look at it week by week as things have changed. Our main focus right now is the issuance of the vaccine and handling the vaccine appropriately. We've been fortunate to be one of the few municipalities, when I say few, I can count it on one hand, that have received a direct allocation that's provided from the state to the health department and ultimately to Riviera Beach. We are administering roughly about 600 vaccines per week. We have done that for at least 2 weeks now, and if a person calls on Monday when we open the line at 9 a.m., by roughly Tuesday at noontime, we've got all those 600 spots that are open. And so we encourage persons when we do open the line to be able to call in and register. And when we say register, the system is intuitive and it grabs your number. And when it grabs your number, then staff is able to get the other information necessary to book the appointment. The vaccine that has been provided through the state and to the county and then ultimately to Riviera Beach is the Moderna vaccine, which requires 2 shots, 1 shot and then 21 to 28 days later, the second shot. We have been told that for all intent and purpose, we are going to see that that is the vaccine that will be continued to be administered at the City of Riviera Beach sites and all the sites for that matter, as the quantities and the numbers associated with Johnson & Johnson have been trickling into the state. And so the allocation is ultimately provided by the feds through the state to the health department and then ultimately to the point of distribution. We are an open pod, so we are to facilitate all persons throughout the greater community for the purposes of providing the vaccine. So if anyone has any family members that may not live in Riviera Beach or the surrounding municipality, they are also eligible to be able to receive the vaccine. One of the things that we ask for persons to do is once they do call the number and we have the discussion with you as it relates to setting the appointments, realize that once you call the number and we call you back, you are going to get an appointment any day between Thursday to Saturday. I know a lot of folks have been hesitant to call the number because they anticipate that by calling the number that you're a couple weeks out to receive the vaccine. No, once you call the number, and if we log your information and the recording basically says that someone will call you back, that means in all likelihood you've received a spot, and then we work out the nuances related to the appointments. So certainly please continue to share the information and share the number. The lines open at 9, not 8:59, not 8:58, not 7 o'clock in the morning. We get persons that try to call at that 8:59. No, it opens. The line opens at 9, and the line stays open until all the spots are filled and until we capture roughly about 600 to 800 numbers. And so that has still been a successful way for us to ensure that we can handle the number of persons that are calling, as well as getting folks scheduled for the vaccine. Information has also been put out by the city of Riviera Beach by virtue of information that's been provided to us by the governor that the age is going to drop to persons 40 years and up on Monday. So those persons that are eligible, certainly make sure that you call on Monday to secure your appointment. And based on some things that we're hearing, that in all likelihood it looks like the number, the age number will drop down exponentially in the next couple of weeks. But again, that's under the purview and direction of the governor that we operate under, as it's a state-sponsored site. So with that being said, we have our operational section chief, Mr. Fire Chief John Kurd, to provide an operational report. For anyone that is not reporting out, if you can go ahead and mute your lines, we're getting a little bit of feedback. So, Chief Kurd, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Evans, and thank you for your time, Madam Chair. Just to update everybody on where we're at in totality with COVID and what we've been working on. As always, I'll start off with the numbers. In the U.S., we've seen a total of 30-plus million cases with over 545,000 deaths. In the state of Florida, we've seen a total of 2.02 million cases with 32,000 total deaths. And in Palm Beach County, 129,000 total cases with 2,603 deaths. Some of the data that I monitor to determine where we're at as a municipality is surrounded by census tract data provided by the Palm Beach County Health Department. And currently, I am happy to say that Riviera Beach, and for some time, Riviera Beach has not shown up as a hot spot in Palm Beach County. As with all census tracts, yes, we do have positive cases. Yes, they are climbing in many areas, but in Riviera Beach, we seem to be doing very well. So we must continue to preach social distancing or physical distancing, and the CDC has actually reduced what they're deeming physical distancing to 6 feet to 3 feet. So that's going to change a lot of what we're seeing, but the hand sanitizing and the use of the mask are paramount, especially since we're dealing with new variants. And unfortunately, Florida, and more specifically Palm Beach County, are the epicenter for the new variants that we're seeing in the United States. There's a Brazilian variant, there's a UK variant, there's a African variant that we're dealing with. So we want to make sure that we understand that even though we may be receiving the vaccine, there are other variants out there, and we need to be mindful of that. So even after you've been vaccinated, the physical distancing, the mask wearing, the hand sanitizing, the hand washing, the increased hand or cleaning procedures still need to be adhered to. Wells Recreation Center is currently an open pod, and we're vaccinating, as Mr. Evans said, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We are doing 200 people a day, 3 days a week, for a total of 600 persons per week. As it relates to Wells Recreation Center, let me provide some of the latest data. We have vaccinated, and when I say vaccinated, that is completely vaccinated, a 2-shot regimen of the Moderna vaccine of 1,200 individuals in and around our community. We have also, in this next round of vaccinations, have given 1-shot regimens of 850 vaccines last week and today, and by the end of the weekend, we will have given an additional 1,290 vaccines. So as of right now, in total, Riviera Beach and Riviera Beach alone has provided 3,250 doses of the Moderna vaccine, and we are very happy and proud that a municipality of our size with our resources are able to complete such monumental tasks. There are 81 vaccination sites now open in Palm Beach County, so we are dealing with situations where we do have a lot of individuals that are registering at multiple locations and looking for what is their best option. Now that there are multiple vaccines out there, individuals are starting to become selective in the type of vaccine they want. Some people want Pfizer, some want Moderna, some want Johnson & Johnson. Please remember, our vaccine comes from the state, and currently we are only providing, and for all intent and purposes, as far as I know, we will only have access to the Moderna vaccine. As Mr. Evans mentioned, the governor's executive order will include 40 and older beginning Monday, March 29th, and then subsequently the following week on April 5th, he will open it up to all individuals 18 and older. Please understand, as an open pod, this is our second week of vaccinations. Next week, we will be vaccinating first rounds again, but then our pod will transition into second round vaccinations for the following 3 weeks. So while it opens up to 18 and older, we are still going to be taking care of those that were 50 and 40 and older with their second round shots before we can move into additional first round shots. For individuals that are looking to obtain the vaccine at Riviera Beach's site at Wells Recreation Center, on Monday morning, March 29th, we will be opening up the phone lines at 9 o'clock in the morning. And if you're interested in the vaccine, the phone number you need to call is 1-877-574-8437. Again, that number is 1-877-574-8437. So as I said, our site will be transitioning into second round vaccines in 2 weeks. We are very happy and very grateful to some of the county commissioners, Virginia Baker, county administration, Senator Bobby Powell, and just a whole host of other individuals, the T. Leroy Jefferson Foundation, the Black Nurse Practitioners of Palm Beach County, who have just provided a ton of support to our community. And in turn, we are very grateful and want to show our gratitude to those individuals. We will keep working hard for individuals in and around our community, and I thank you for the opportunity to be able to serve. With that, I turn it back over to you, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Chief. I believe we have our finance section chief, Mr. Randy Sherman, on the line.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Manager. The report tonight has a couple topics that I'd like to touch on. The numbers from the American Rescue Plan have been released, and many of you probably have already heard the numbers, but I think they certainly are worth repeating as they are significant and will make a major contribution to the city. The state of Florida is receiving $16.4 billion. The breakdown of that is $9.4 billion to the state, $4.2 billion to the counties. The metro cities, which are those cities over a population of 50,000, will be receiving and sharing in $1.5 billion. And then the smaller communities under 50,000 in population, where Riviera Beach falls, will be sharing in $1.4 billion. The amount coming to the city is $14.9 billion. 14.9 million. Get that straight. And the county is receiving $290 million. The county will assume be reopening their utility and rental assistance program. They actually opened it earlier in the month, and by March 12th, it was already closed due to the overwhelming volume. But these funds should be coming in shortly. They come to the state, and then the state will distribute them to the local governments. The kicker on the funds that are coming to the city is there are a very restrictive list of items that those funds can be spent on. They really are intended to either assist in the negative impact from COVID-19, helping again with impacted industries such as tourism, helping small business, household assistance, and the like. There's also a provision in there that would allow the city to use some of the funds to offset revenues that have been lost from our normal operations. So when you think about it, where we had to close down parks and recs and we lost some of that revenue, or where the state changed our revenue sharing formula for the last year, we do have the ability to possibly use some of the funds for that. The major one, though, that I think staff is really focusing on, and we know that there has been a lot of focus on utility assistance. They're actually allowing the funds to be used for investments in water and sewer infrastructure. So the thinking is if we can put that $14.9 million towards the new water treatment plant, that'll really kick off that program, let us do the design and engineering, and possibly even provide sufficient fundings to get the administration building out of the ground. The deadline for spending the funds is actually December 31st of 2024. So we really think that that project would actually suit these dollars real well. So we will be coming back and talking to the council about possibly getting those funds allocated and appropriated to that purpose. And I believe that ends the finance report. Back to you. I believe is Ms. Noel on at this point?
Perfect segue. She's the next person to report.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sherman and Mr. Evans. Yes, so my name is Marsh Noel, Assistant to the City Manager, also serving as the Public Information Officer for our Emergency Operations Center. Just a quick item I want to share. As we continue throughout the weeks to push out more vaccinations and any other resource or opportunity related to COVID-19 to the community, we are utilizing, and I have to say this consistently, but we are utilizing Code Red as our primary way to reach individuals when it comes to the vaccinations. So we ask that if you have not already signed up, please sign up for Code Red now. You don't want to wait too late, especially if it's critical information. We've been sending out tons of emails, phone calls, text messages, even on a consistent basis, practically every week for the last 2 to 3 weeks or so. And it's going to be our primary way to get information quickly out to the community when it comes to vaccinations. For instance, today the governor ordered a change in the age requirement that will be coming up soon in terms of when individuals who are 40 years of age and older, and then afterwards 18 years or older, are able to get the vaccine. that message went out today, the same day that order was also shared publicly by the governor. So that's just to show you that we are doing our best to get the information out quickly and efficiently. And Code Red, excuse me, is going to be the primary way by which we do so. If you want to sign up for Code Red, please go to rivierabeach.org/code red. Again, it's rivierabeach.org/code red. Or you can register by phone. A Code Red representative can assist you if you may be having some technical issues. So you can call 866-939-0911 and just select option 2. That line is available Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So as I said, again, Code Red is very important, and I'm going to consistently say this because who's to say what may happen in the next week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks? You don't want to be the last one to know. So that ends my report.
Thank you, Ms. Noel. And that concludes the reports from staff. Madam Chair, staff is prepared to answer any questions that you may have or any closing remarks related to today's report.
No, nothing related to today's report, but to the city in general. I just wanted to say, and especially for any residents who are listening to this message, that the city is very serious about looking at the crime in our community. There's been several rash of recent shootings in the city of Riviera Beach, and we want to make sure that the residents are assured that we are working on this issue and that we are going to bring forth issues and bring forth conversations for the public to be engaged about this ongoing problem in our community. So I just want the community to stay tuned, to engage with the city, and to also offer solutions to how we're going to rid crime in our community. I just wanted to say that just based on the fact that there's been numerous shootings in the past week in the city.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And from the staff standpoint and perspective, we certainly stand prepared, able, and willing to do whatever's necessary to support curtailing some of the criminal elements in our community and bringing forward some robust discussions and conversations, but ultimately deriving some solutions to address the concerns and some of the things that the chairwoman had just spoken of. So, Madam Chair, and those of you that are watching at home, that concludes our report. And we look forward to continued conversations and encouraging folks to get the vaccine when it is your turn. The number has been stated on this call. The lines open promptly at 9 o'clock. And usually, if you get in before noontime on Tuesday, you can secure a spot. But with the age jumping to 10 years in increments of 10 years, and then ultimately to persons 18 and up, we can anticipate receiving a influx of persons taking those spots. So please call as quickly as possible. We'll get you in the queue, we'll get you vaccinated, and we'll get you on your way safely. Madam Chair, staff, and members of the community, that concludes our call for this evening.
Okay, thank you. Meeting is adjourned.